Hey, folks. Welcome to Weekend Technical Analysis Update by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This Weekend Technical Analysis Update is for Monday, November 30th through Friday, December 4th, 2009. Well, folks, let's get started because I have a lot to cover in this Weekend Technical Analysis Update. Now, a few things to go over. Number one, last week, what a weird week. If you talk about weeks when they should be quiet or generally it's quiet, last week was anything but. You started out the first 3 days of the week, which were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, generally the normal way we've started out most weeks recently. In fact, we had that same type of run-up on Monday that we had the week before on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday were inside days. Now, the interesting thing about that is the amateur out there would normally say those inside days are consolidation, possibly for a move higher. For those of you that have now been following the methodology, and again, for those of you on the cutting edge of the methodology here at In the Money Stocks, you guys know that there was no confirmation based off that move up above a Great Wall of China level that we've talked about for a long period of time. And that was a good signal to let us know that there was a high probability of a reversal later in the week, and what a reversal it was, with the markets closed on Thursday. And again, Thursday being the Thanksgiving holiday, Friday a half day, but Thursday all, hell broke loose, you could say, as the Dubai credit crisis kind of issue where a lot of default talk going on there that really shocked global markets. So Thursday and Friday, global markets got crushed. The U.S. was open half a day on Friday and didn't necessarily get crushed too badly, but we did see some nice selling there. All right, we saw the Dow lower by about 155 points, 1.5%, NASDAQ down by 37.5, 1.75%, and S&P 500 down about 19 or 1.75% as well. So you saw about 1 3/4 drop there on the indexes across the board. Now they were down much more, but as soon as the markets opened, again we saw the dollar start to drop. Now the dollar was higher on Friday to start the day, very significantly. Now, why? Many people don't understand the dollar relationship with the market. Many people, especially the amateurs out there, think, oh, well, the Dubai crisis is really what caused the markets to gap lower. And, in an offshoot way, you're partially right, but it's not really that. And that's what I've been trying to convey to our premium subscribers for quite a while now, ever since really the March highs on the dollar were hit. When the dollar started to reverse to the downside, you saw the markets actually moving up. Now, why? The Dubai crisis caused a flight to safety, which is still the U.S. dollar, guys. I mean, any way you cut it, even though the dollar has depreciated by about 10% this year or so, the dollar is still known as the safety net of the world. All right, it's still that reserve currency of the world, regardless of how much it's kind of falling down now. So with Dubai credit crisis stuff going on, and you can see, foreclosure, that whole nonsense over there with all the, commercial real estate and all the kind of junk that they were in, and the possibility of default there, the run to the dollar occurred, and you had the dollar gapping up. And I'm going to show you a chart of the dollar here. Look at the gap up here on the UUP. This is the dollar index that we use to talk about the dollar in. And look at this gap up, huge. Here's where we closed on Wednesday, and remember, Thursday's close. This is Friday's gap up. And then look at the fall on the dollar. So the dollar gaps up an insane amount. I mean, huge. And then the very controlled selling, good selling here on the dollar, and that's what's able to bring the market up. So you can see how there's a direct inverse relationship with the markets here. And again, it's shown beautifully. So my point is this. Yes, the Dubai crisis right there, which was going on Thursday, Wednesday to Thursday morning when the markets were closed here, but that continued into Friday, obviously, with the U.S. markets. That was part of the issue, but the real issue was that the dollar went up, and that continues to put pressure. Whenever the dollar goes up, the markets are falling. And then you can see very clearly how as soon as the dollar starts to come back in, look at the move up on the SPY. I mean, this is one of the huge red. Look at that. So it's in. I mean, you count these bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. They will match up identically to my 10-minute chart on the way down here, guys. All right. So you can count those bars, and they'll actually match up and everything. So you can see that the dollar, as it falls down, lifts the markets beautifully, and then you kind of go into this sideways to slight upward move on the markets right here, and you can see how clear that is in relation to what the spiders do, and then you can see kind of the opposite. And then you might want to say, well, what about this last bar of the day here? And clearly spoken, you can see right here on the UUP, let me bring that chart up again. See that little pop in the dollar right into the close? That's exactly what's going on there with the spiders, and the spiders sell off hard on that little bit of dumping. And also, I think there's a lot of issues there right into the close on Friday. People were saying, listen, if Dubai can happen on Thanksgiving in the U.S., that whole Dubai issue, then I don't really want to hold a lot over the weekend just in case more, kind of things happen. Now, that's generally from what I'm reading now is they're going to be backed and it's not going to be a big issue. At least that's what I'm reading. I think the market is going to turn to the retail sales from Black Friday, folks. Black Friday retail sales looked like they're inching up a little bit. We'll get more information next week, but I think the market really is going to turn to retail sales because let's be honest, the consumer has driven this market day in, day out for the last, 20 years plus, even more than that. That's really what's been driving the economy. So you got to see that consumer come back in and spend, and Black Friday obviously is pretty much the most important day of the year for retailers. So watch those numbers later in the week as that number trickles out. You'll probably get a good sense tomorrow on what expectations were and how were they met. Were they exceeded? Were they, missed tomorrow? Again, you have a lot of economic data this week, folks, and I stress that. A ton of economic data I want to go over. But just on a technical basis, again, Monday was a big up day last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, no confirmation that yielded a fall on Friday. That's the same thing that happened a week before. And the interesting thing is, 2 weeks in a row, you have failed to close above the Great Wall of China. You've been above it for a majority of the week, and the Great Wall of China has actually closed. It closed below. The market's actually closed below, which is a fascinating little testament to how unbelievable the levels in the money stocks are. And folks, this is all stuff that you want to be joining the research center for or the chat room. Again, the chat room, if you have some time during the workday and you don't work and you don't have, you can join the chat room even for an hour a day, is a great thing. But the research center itself is something that you will be able to rely on and analyze. You get methodology, levels, and obviously the educational side in there is huge as we teach what we preach and give you guys a good insight. But in any case, folks, that's very interesting as well. I just want to point out to you that the Great Wall of China, 2 weeks in a row, you've been above it for a majority of the week and have yet to really close the week above it. Now, next week's going to be a key, guys, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Next week could be the breaking point for this market one way or the other, and that's what I'm seeing here on the charts based on the fact that 2 weeks in a row you've tried to get above that Great Wall, have failed. Now, this is the third time. Let's see, is third time the charm or is third time the failure and the rollover? And again, you can kind of look at the charts and start to estimate and do odds, but we're going to wait and see kind of into next week which way this is going to go. So it's going to be a fascinating week, folks. I mean, the holiday is over now. It's a straight shot into the Christmas time frame, so you have a couple weeks of good action here, really good action in this market to bring us into that Christmas time. Then it'll quiet down for a week until after New Year's, and then be ready, folks, because even after New Year's, it's going to be even crazier as we have some projections showing some nutty stuff going to happen, and you want to be ready for that and be ready to, profit off of it whichever way the market does go, whichever way we tell our subscribers it's going to go. All right? So keep that in mind. Now, quickly just showing you the 60-minute again. I love this chart on the 60 because this told us again on Friday, look at the gap down to the 200 moving average. That's a buy signal. First hit of the 200 methodology that in the money stocks dictates that's a buy. The market moves all the way up to the upper Great Wall. That's a short, and then it comes back and pulls back to the lower Great Wall of China right there. Beautiful stuff, folks, in regards to the market. Now, quickly to go over some economic news for next week so you can set yourself up. Monday, quiet. Chicago PMI is coming out. That's relatively quiet. Monday, it will be interesting because you kind of have that lag effect where people are coming back. You'll have some people still kind of hangover from the weekend and the long holiday weekend. But for the most part, Monday should be interesting to see if there's any hangover from the Dubai. Also, the retail stuff, retail numbers coming out. But then Tuesday, construction spending, ISM, pending home sales, auto truck sales. Wednesday, ADP jobs number, guys. That's going to be big. Beige book is also Wednesday. Crude inventories Wednesday. Then Thursday, initial claims. That's going to be big. And then Friday's the big day, folks. Friday is huge. That's when we get the unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, all that kind of stuff will be coming out on Friday. So be ready, folks. It is going to be a wild week, and we're going to get a lot of information out in this market to digest. So be ready. Join the research center. That's where you want to go. If you have an hour during the day, you want to be in the chat room as well because the learning experience in that chat room is going to be fantastic. Keep an eye. You go to the chat room page on the website, check it out, see if it's for you. It's going to be fantastic, folks. Take care. Have a great week, profitable week. We know we will have a profitable week here at In the Money Stocks, so we encourage you to join the research center at inthemoneystocks.com. Take care.